I'm Jack Kaiser with Chippewa County Progressive Voices, and I'm back again with Nancy Coffey, the UW Extension County Nutrition Coordinator for Eau Claire County. Welcome back, Nancy.
Thank you.
In our prior segments, we've talked about defining poverty, its prevalence in Eau Claire County, and how the working people, hardworking people, can be in a very insecure position. Today we're going to talk about some of the consequences of poverty, and specifically we're going to talk about it from the viewpoint of someone who is involved in nutrition, which is you.
Thank you.
What do you do in your job for UW Extension?
My job, the income for my job comes from SNAP education dollars, which are federal dollars. SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which in Wisconsin is called Food Share. Many people know it as food stamps. There are no stamps anymore. People have a Quest card, or in Wisconsin it's called a Quest card or an EBT card, and if they are low income and qualify, they are able to buy food using this electronic benefit transfer system. So my job is to teach those people who participate in SNAP about how to save money on food, how to, we work with children as well, how to choose healthy foods. We do that with 2 educators as well as myself and see about 20,000 contacts a year in Eau Claire County of low-income families.
What is food insecurity?
Food insecurity basically means that people in the family don't have enough healthy food for an active, healthy lifestyle for every single member in that family. Often people are food insecure part of the year, not all of the year. And surprisingly, it happens many times in the summer. And the reason for that is that there's no free or reduced lunch in the summer. And so it's harder because my children are home all the time. And you know, if you have teenage children, how much they can eat.
What are the percentages or rates of food insecurity in Eau Claire County?
These are estimated rates that are done by the federal government. And right now, currently, 1 out of 8 Eau Claire County individuals are predicted food insecure. About 1 out of 5 households with young children are food insecure. The reason that is so high is, again, often when people have children, they are making less income than when they have worked in a job for quite a long time.
What are the implications of food insecurity for children?
Food insecurity in children is very, very scary. And the reason it is when you think of a child that is very young and the brain is developing and I'm trying to cope and I'm trying to figure out life and what it's all about. If I don't get food, my brain doesn't work as well, I'm not able to concentrate, and there are problems with behavior, okay? If I'm hungry, I'm thinking about food, I'm not thinking about listening to the teacher in the classroom, and I'm having more troubles with academics and learning.
Does it also affect the development of the child with lifelong implications in some cases?
Absolutely. So there are many things that happen. First of all, if I don't have enough food, even if I get food later on in life, I might have stunted growth, I might have low iron, which affects me throughout life. We also know that people who are food insecure have about 2 to 3 times the likelihood as an adult of having a chronic disease, such as diabetes, which affects eyesight, and things like your heart, how well your heart works. So there are implications throughout life, as even if I do get food later in life because of that inability of having food when I was young.
How does food insecurity affect adults who are food insecure?
It's interesting that more likely for women than men, there is an increased chance of obesity because of food insecurity. And I'd like to explain that a little bit. In the United States, when we think of food insecurity, it used to be called hunger. It's not called that anymore. And the reason for that is that most people in the United States can still get food. It's the kind of food they can afford. So because I'm food insecure, maybe I'm forced to eat a lot of ramen noodles because they're cheap, and I can't buy that piece of fruit that I want to get for dessert, so I end up having a cheap cookie. And so we're just not able to purchase the kind of foods. I can't afford that whole grain loaf of bread that's really nice and hefty and have something that is much more processed.
Do people even have rickets in Eau Claire County?
It is possible, though not as likely. One of the things that we're finding more and more is the lack of iron in children that are food insecure.
What is the relationship of food hardship to the share of population participating in food share and children free or reduced lunch?
We do have a safety net for people who are food insecure if they are eligible because of their income, and we know that we have a higher risk of food insecurity if I'm low income because I can't afford to buy the food that I need for a healthy lifestyle. So currently we have about 20%, or 1 out of 5 of our Eau Claire County residents that are participating in food share. In order to qualify for food share, initially you would be at about 120% of poverty, or a little higher than the really poor that we talked about in the past. There are a lot of people that are concerned about the percentage of people who are on food share today, and we find that through research that if food share is available to people that are of limited income, it really helps to pull them up from poverty. So it really is a cost-effective way to help our citizens be able to have those healthy foods they need for a healthy diet.
How about children?
Children, as we said, we have a lot of children that are in households that are food insecure. The children may not always be food insecure because as a parent, you are always going to feed your children before you fill your tummy. So it does affect the children in a lot of ways because the parents are so stressed. Imagine not being able to have enough food and trying to parent your child when you're stressed and hungry. However, we do know that because of our families being very low income, about 40% of our children in Eau Claire school districts are able to have free or reduced lunch. Of that 43% last year, we found that almost all of those children are on free lunch, not reduced lunch, which is what I would have guessed as a citizen in our community. So we have a lot of very low-income families. This really helps our children because they're able to get that really good lunch, this healthy lunch in their tummies, so that they can function well at school.
What do they do in the summer?
That becomes a problem. Now, thanks to Feed My People Food Bank, we have weekend meals, backpack meals. Those happen for the weekends when the children aren't in school, and also in the summer. So children can access those weekend backpack meals when they're in school. On Friday, they will bring their backpack, put in their lunch, and we have to be careful that we don't put in too much food or the poor little child can't walk home because it's too heavy. In the summer, we've been able to have those meals available for children. There's one on Gulf Road at the United Methodist Church where kids can go and pick up lunch. There are some at the public library. So we're having more places where children can get these backpack meals. Also in the summer, if the children are a bit older, there is the Boys and Girls Club meals, breakfast and lunch throughout the summer. If you're in 3rd grade or older, you can come for that meal even if you're younger than that, but the problem becomes transportation of getting those children there. The other opportunity is at the schools for 5 weeks. There is free lunch and breakfast available to children if they live close to a school where it's being offered.
Thank you for coming and being with us for these sessions, Nancy, and thank you for working with our families to keep them healthy.
You're welcome.